Good morning, good morning. Welcome everyone to Thursday's ad-free live stream. We are live here in the great state of Nebraska. It's going to be a good day today. Just adjusting my microphone here a little bit. Okay, we'll do that. Hopefully you're having a good day this morning. If you're here for the first time, my name is Tyler and welcome. Super glad that you're here this morning. We're going to have a great trading day. I'm going to be helping navigate you through the wild world of futures trading. Man, when I started trading, I started with regular stocks. Then I went to options, and then I heard this thing about futures, and I was like, wow, I kind of like that idea. Trade the Nasdaq, trade the S&P 500. Let's check it out. And since then, I've never gone back. So it's going to be a good day today. We are going to take a look at the higher time frame, try to figure out our draw on liquidity. So we have a three-step process to actually do that. We're going to be going over that. Lastly, if you are looking to take your trading to the next level, you can do so by using the code DTJ. DTJ will give you currently a 90% off discount on your next Apex account. Apex is doing a 90% off sale right now, and that makes things really, really cheap to actually start making money if you are consistent. So with that, let's go ahead and open in prayer and let's rock and roll. Father, we thank you. We thank you. You're good. You're a good Father. We thank you for the opportunity to trade. Lord, I thank you. Your word says you'll never leave us or forsake us, but you're with us in and through all things. So Father, we fix our eyes on you, the author and finisher of our faith. Father, we reject any lies of the enemy that says we're not making progress, we're not moving forward. But Father, even in our wins and in our losses, Father, if we fix our eyes on you, we are making progress in our day trading journey. Father, thank you. We honor you in Jesus' name. Amen. Good morning, everyone. How you doing, Ted, Byron? Good morning, Paul, Bob, Mary. Good morning. Glad to have you guys this morning. We're going to start by identifying. We have a three-step process that we really tried to go through. We first have to identify bias. Where's our targets, high and low? Then we have to figure out our potential narrative. And then the last thing that we do is use our model to enter that narrative and bias. And so it kind of cascades to those three levels. So we first have to start with the first one. And with that, let's go ahead and jump to the charts and let's take a look. Let's start at the daily time frame. And we are looking at the Nasdaq. For those of you that are wondering, on the top right corner, you'll see the contract that I'm using as well as the time frame that I'm on. So the time frame is D, so that stands for daily. And that's what we're going to take a look at. We have about 10 minutes before the market opens. Let me just make sure I got everything set up to where I want on my executions for my chart. And then I should be good to go. Make sure our micro screen is up and running. Oh, there it is. Looks good. All right. All right, so here we're looking at the daily time frame. You're going to see two lines. You see an orange line and you see some green lines. The orange is our weekly time frame and the green is our daily time frame. As you can see, we already ran the low of the weekly time frame, and we got pretty close to the high of the weekly time frame. ES actually ran that high. So ES, did it have a double break day? A double break week. Let me take a look. Did we ever run the low? We did. We ran the high and the low, which doesn't happen very, very often. So there's a chance that we could still run this high, which would be, I'm like on the verge of sneezing right now. So I'm talking like I have something in my nose. So I like this idea for a draw on liquidity. I also like this weekly volume imbalance that we've tagged, which also has weekly equal highs up here as well. So I'm really liking this area as a draw on the week for the week. That's a weekly perspective that we're looking at. Then we drop down to the daily, which we're already had the daily on here, and we marked our previous day's high and our low, and we've ran the low already. So there's a 77% chance we run either the high or the low. So we've already ran that. To run this high today is only an 11% chance. Not sure if that's high probability or not. We also have a volume imbalance down here in the form of the daily chart that we could also look to fill. If we drop down to the 4-hour, you'll see that big, the new day opening gap in the very light blue we have here. I'll mark it out for the numbers on the right hand side from 646 down to 359. We have that all right there. So yesterday we ran the highs, we retraced into the close, and then over the London session we've retraced back up to close to the Asia highs. I have the PM session high marked out, Asia session high, and then the London low all marked out. So as far as potential targets, what I would say, our previous day high would be a premium target, and our London low is going to be our discount target. So now that we have those biases, we go on to step 2 and we try to identify what's the narrative. How is price potentially going to get there? This is the hardest step, and this is what takes the most practice. Over time, you'll get better and better, and it's okay if you make mistakes. And you could be wrong and still make money. You could be right and still make money, and you can still be right and lose money. So narrative is very, very important to understand. So we have the Asia highs that are sitting right here. We want to see those ran. London high was already ran way over here. But as you can see, it's pretty smooth. Low resistance liquidity, we talked about that before. Most of this has already been ran. We just have this swing high here and the previous PM session high. So if I was to have a lower time frame target, I would say the PM session high I like. We're on the hourly chart, and you can see this hourly fair value gap sitting right here that's overlapping with that level. So how do we get there? I don't see it as of right now on the higher time frame. I don't see an opportunity to hit this. We did have a 30-minute reversal right here that did play out. It's already in process. And we have a balanced price range right here in the form of this V. We have these bearish candles followed by bullish candles that close this. And so this is considered a balanced price range. We could just pump right to this high without coming down here at all. So if I have a narrative, I would say if we could hit this level and then play a retracement, I would be interested in that. We got a 15-minute fair value gap right here, a 30-minute fair value gap. Let's drop to the 15-minute. Let's see what that looks like. We have a 15-minute fair value gap sitting right here that we could tag as well. I'm going to use the 15-minute fair value gap instead of the hourly. I like the way that one looks a little bit better. The swing high is actually in the discount portion of that fair value gap. So we could reach up into the premium and still respect that whole area. Nothing's really standing out to me. And if we can't identify a clear narrative, that means we need to wait and we need to get more data to get a different narrative or clarity on what the potential narrative could be. So that's kind of what we have right now. What do we got for news today? Today is Thursday. We had news, unemployment claims at 7:30. We have existing home sales at 10. So we'll see what happens at 10. If something is an A+ setup, I'll take that beforehand. But I am going to wait the first 15 minutes of the market before I take a trade. I have found that it does me well to be patient and not take that first trade in the first 15 minutes, because sometimes I will rush a setup. I'll rush what I think I'm seeing, and it ends up in losses, and we don't want to do that. So we don't want to blow any accounts. Let's take a look. What do we got going on here? Good morning, good morning, good morning. You need 1,700. Don't try to get it all in one trade there, Byron. Don't do that. You'll set yourself up for disaster with setting expectations. Don't have any expectations other than following your rules. That is the best expectation you can set. Follow your rules. If you get a negative winner, then you get a negative winner. Or a positive loser. Which one was it? Positive loser. Wait. I'm now questioning my own language. If I have a loss, but it was a good trade, that's a negative winner. Negative winner. We want to have either positive wins or negative wins. Those are the only two types of wins we want. Positive wins and negative wins. Those are the only two types of trades you need to take. You never want to get a positive loser. Never get a positive loser. That is where you don't follow your rules, but it turns into a win. Those don't help your psychology. They don't help you following your rules. They're not very good. If you get a negative loser, well, that's your fault. You had a loss because you took an inappropriate trade. That's your fault, okay? So we want positive winners or negative winners. That's it. And then we let everything else play out, okay? Deborah, apparently it's afternoon where you're at. Good morning from here. WeTech, good morning. MR, good morning. I don't have the website marked for news. Looking at news, gotcha. Good morning, Sarah. Northern, what's up, my friend? House of Hole, how you doing? Asia session giving clues. If you're talking about it selling off, potentially. I like the idea of going short. I would say the only narrative I think that is clearest is hit this 15-minute fair value gap and then take a trade into the new day opening gap, which is also the previous day low. Because we've already ran this previous day low, I would love for it to tag it again. Why would I want it to tag it again? Because I want to see it tagged in the New York session. So this could potentially be a draw on liquidity as well as the London low, and we have the highlighted teal color, which is the new day opening gap, and this is the remaining portion of that. So we have reason to go lower, but obviously we've seen price leave stuff open before. With the news, I'm gonna say I'm more bearish than I am bullish. The sentiment in the market is bearish, so I would prefer to take a trade to the downside. I don't care about the news of, the cutbacks on China tariffs. That's all just trying to prop up the market. That's artificial propping, in my opinion. Yes, the market's in great condition over the economy. We're moving in the right direction, but I don't think the market likes where the tariffs are going. So we're watching Asia. What do we got? We got 25 seconds. Oops, let me get I don't even have my opening range gap set. It looks like it's not a tight. There it is. Obviously, I'm not taking that trade. It was right at London or the Asia highs, right when we closed. So I probably wouldn't have taken that anyway. Okay, we got our opening range gap set, and we will mark out 930 as well. There's our 930 price. This fair value gap right here is the only thing holding price up for running this low resistance liquidity. And then I expect price to find resistance right here. Why? Who can tell me why I think price will find resistance right here? I don't know what that red line is for. Who can tell me? I'm going to get rid of this line. That line's irrelevant. Sell side liquidity. Okay, not bad. Where's the sell side liquidity? So we got sell side liquidity here, but this fair value gap is the last fair value gap before this liquidity here, and we have the opening range gap would be filled right around here as well. So I expect this to find support. For how long, I don't know, but if there's a nice setup, we could use this as a little bit of a bounce, or we could see this bounce here, come up to this breaker that's sitting right here, and then play to the downside. There's multiple options. There's multiple options. So I want to see this find support and come back up to a level like this. This would be a nice breaker, bearish breaker to the downside. So we come here, we hit this level, we sweep the liquidity. Everybody thinks, oh, well, it's now going to go higher. No, it hits this breaker and potentially keeps dropping. Could it go higher? Sure. But our narrative and our price is to the downside. We just ran Asia. That's a decent, I would say, it's not my ideal. It's not my ideal key level, but it's legitimate. It also tagged the equilibrium of the previous day. All of those can have significance when you have when it's overlapping. You have a 15-minute? No, if I had a preference, I want it to reach up to here. I would agree. I would want it to reach up to there. But I will tell you, if we get that displacement, I will take that trade. The main reason is if you even look at the 15-minute, that 15-minute would be, there would be a change in state of delivery on that 15-minute candle. Also, we'll see what happens here if we get a reversal candle. I mean, all this looks bullish, but at some point you're going to see a change. That's why I like this level here. So you could play along to it. I'm going to choose to wait. One, because I have my 15-minute rule. And the other reason is I prefer taking reversals more than continuations. In other news, we will be only taking 3 trades today. My goal is to take less than 3 trades. I would like to take 1 trade and be done for the day. 1 trade is easier to journal. If you've noticed, it's really difficult to keep track of and analyze your trading session when you have too many trades. Or you could just group them all together and say, too many trades. Because most of the time, it is too many trades. 1 to 2, 3 max trades is what I'm looking for. while we're sitting here and waiting, let's go ahead and check out our affirmation for today. I like today's affirmation. I think you will too. I think it's a good one. There we go. Today, I honor the process. I don't rush what God is refining. Every trade is a chance to grow in patience, discipline, and trust. Today, I honor the process. Are you okay with the process? Are you submitting yourself to the time it takes to become profitable? Or are you rushing that process? God will refine you through the process. I'll tell you, I've learned more in my 2 years of trading in my relationship with the Lord than I have in the last 16 years of being a Christian. I think it's been 16. It's probably been longer. I've been a Christian my whole life, but there's a point when it's like, yes, I'm committing myself to Him. It was in my teenage years. Discipline and trust. Discipline and trust. Those are the affirmation. That's the affirmation for today. So take that. Let's make it a great day with it. For those of you that are here because of the last video you watched on the proverb that made me profitable, welcome. Glad you're here. That video is doing very well right now. It's crazy. I'm just going to talk about it because I'm kind of blown away. Typically, I'll get a subscriber that will join my channel for every 200 views across my channel. So when people find my channel, I get roughly 2,000 views or so a day. And about every 200 views, somebody will click the subscribe button. That video, how Proverbs help me become profitable, I'm getting a subscriber every 11 views. It's crazy. I didn't think that was possible. 11 views and somebody's clicking the button. Just some analytics behind the screen on my end that I see. All right, tell me what besides you, Ted, I know you know, so don't say anything. Besides Ted, who can tell me what we haven't seen yet? Which might change in the next 20 seconds. What haven't we seen? Who can tell me? Displacement is another word for it. There we go. Dominique, first fair value gap. Mary, fair value gap. Correct. We haven't seen that first fair value gap. We're still waiting for that. We want, that is our, for you, Byron, that's kind of our clue displacement could be happening. Now, because we have news at 10 o'clock, that could also be, it's only orange folder news, so I'm not like, I'm pretty sure it's orange folder. So I came across some music, guys. If you haven't listened to this song, I can't play it because I'm live on YouTube right now. But I'm going to tell you that you should check out this song. I was listening to it during my quiet time this morning. No One Like Our God. I can't play it. By Circuit Rider Music. Circuit Rider Music. No One Like the Lord. It's legit. It's really good. Thank you, Sarah. I'm glad. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're now getting some displacement. Now we want to see if this displacement gives us our first fair value gap. Now look at the first fair value gap I have marked out up here. This is from, what is it, from Wednesday? But why do I care about that one? I care about that one because 1, it was a breaker. 2, we referenced it once before. And 3, it's the PM session high. So there's multiple reasons for that. I'm not going to take a trade off it. It's just a point of reference. I want to see how it handles. Let's see if we continue to get expansion here. Way to go, Northern. Mr. Consistent. I like that. We're going to mark this out. You saw me turtle soup the last one. It turned into a loss. Not there yet. I'm not there yet. Byron, are you a worship leader? By the way, thank you for the kind words and the kind message you sent. I appreciate it. Way to go, man. My brother is on the worship team. My son, who's 13, is the drummer on the worship team. My mother leads worship. And my wife sings sometimes. The only person not on the worship team is me. You don't want me up there. You don't want me up there. So if you are, I'm going to ask yourself, this is an internal reflection moment. Let me ask you, how are you feeling about this move? Do you feel like you're missing out? Do you feel like it's running without you? If you're having those feelings, then you need to reset yourself. You need to reset yourself to get to the point that there's always going to be a move, and you can't capitalize on every move. There was no entry here. Really, if I'm honest, the entry was over here. On the 3-minute chart, we had the 30-minute reversal model, and it was right here. That little candle right there at 8:06 on the 3-minute chart, that was your entry. Outside of this, there hasn't been a clean entry for me personally. But now that we've come up into the first fair value gap, and here's our PM session high, we're just underneath it. We tagged the 15-minute, but the 15-minute, this is the portion that's unfilled, so we want it to reach into there. If it's going to stop short, I'm not interested in that. ES has swept a high already, so it hasn't reached its PM session high, but it doesn't need to. I just want correlation in the form of sweeping liquidity. And so now we're still waiting. Yeah, there's an hourly fair value gap here as well. I just refined it to the 15-minute. I like the 15-minute a little bit better. All right, 8 seconds, and I got the green light to take trades. It is 9:45 right now. 9:45, and boom, we just hit the high right at 9:45. 15-minute little wick. We could see that as manipulation to see if we want to get displacement. I doubt that at the moment. This is pretty aggressive. We could get a decent retracement, but we could just get a retracement to this first fair value gap and continue higher. This is a pretty aggressive move, so you could potentially get an aggressive move the other direction. It makes it really hard for entries because the entries are a lot quicker when you see very steep price action like that. I mean, we can make it really flat if you want, but that's not I don't like looking at charts like that. I'd rather look at it like this. So 15 minute, there's the 15 minute. We have a 15-minute breaker. The low is right here. Very big wick, not very fun to work with. So can't really do much, in my opinion, with that. I'd rather take the 5 minute. The 5 minute looks decent. Still large wick here. If we close above the first fair value gap on this one from yesterday, I'm going to remove that. If I see a PD array being completely disrespected like that on the 1 minute, because that's the only thing this is relevant to is the 1 minute, then I'm just going to remove it. We crown you King of Glory. We crown you King of Glory. We crown you King of Glory. There's no one like our God. Yeah, 10 o'clock we got news. 12 minutes. Still respecting that first fair value gap. Noted. It is noted. If we get a big candle here that closes below this little down close candle, that technically is a breaker. And that would qualify for a quick scalp. Breaker. It would be it's still a breaker, but it would be a quick scalp trade. If we see quick momentum, if we see price moving aggressively. Oh, am I missing a level here? Excuse me. Let's just make sure we're not missing anything. We got this is our 4-hour candle. We're not missing anything on the 4-hour. We got a 1-hour swing high. We just ran that 1-hour swing high and that 1-hour fair value gap. So 10 minutes. We're going to watch to see if this hourly fair value gap is closed above or below. That's, to me, the next thing we need to just pay attention to. I'm not going to pull it all the way over because I got too many things there. Do we close above that? Okay, that's kind of what we're watching. The hourly and the 15-minute, to be honest. We also have an inversion right here on the left side of the chart on the 15-minute. I mean, I could overlap a lot of this here, but we're not going to. I'm just pointing out the overlapping confluences. So look at this inversion. Look at the inversion where it's at. So it overlaps almost perfectly with the 15-minute fair value gap. That's why I like it. Well, let's watch where this 15-minute candle closes. If it closes inside this inversion, that's a great sign for us to look for some type of reversal. I mean, look at the trajectory of this. You just can't keep going this direction. It's not going to keep doing that. Yes, I know. I know. It did it right here. I got you. But we had a lot of these. Look at the candles towards the end of it. This was nasty. This was not a fun trading morning. That was not fun. I did not like it. So far, the market has been 1,000 times better this morning than yesterday. We crown you King of Glory. All right, I'm going to remove this first fair value gap. I'm done with that. All right, so we never ran that low. Now I'm going to drag this future breaker over here. I like that breaker. It overlaps with a fair value gap on the left, and we would want one on the right-hand side. We also have equal lows down here that I like. Opening midpoint of the opening range gap. Fair value gap down here. I think that would be the ultimate target, these equal lows and this fair value gap down here. That would be amazing to grab. I mean, that's a very large trade. 150 points. Oh, I do like those hourly equal highs. We'll mark those out. This is ES right now. We have the equal highs that are sitting over here. You can see those equal highs. Too smooth for it. We want it to run that. If we run that, we want to look for an SMT, basically ES make a higher high or a lower high, and NQ do the opposite, and then potentially move. We also have these equal lows down here too. I mean, this looks really nice. Would love if it gives that to us. Either way, we're going to sit and be patient and only take the A+ trade. We're not going to say that, ooh, I think it's going to go click, 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 click. Don't do that. Five-minute chart has nice big green candles moving. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 in a row. Okay? We're going to get a pullback. My guess it's either this next candle, the next 5-minute candle, or right at 10 o'clock. One of the two. I'm assuming, based on us running all these levels now, that it's going to be now. Way to go, Bannock. That's the way to be done. One and done. One and done. Those are the best. Oh, if you guys are liking, if you're liking everything so far, hit the like button for me. Do a solid. Hit the like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. ES never ran those equal highs. ES has not hit those equal highs. I really want it to. I mean, I don't want it to make another equal high. I want it to purge it. A nice little purge. We crown you king of glory. Here we go. Let's see if it hits it. There it goes. All right, we just hit it on ES. I dragged it over so you can see it. We have equilibrium, the midpoint of yesterday's range. We've already ran that on NQ over here. And then we have our PM session over here for ES as well. See how we're really sweeping it. It's a big candle. I just don't want a little wick above it. I like the big candle. Now I want to see it fade away. Personally. So this 4-hour candle is definitely bullish, definitely bullish. And there was a 15-minute entry. We have the 4-hour reversal right here. If we drop down to the 15-minute chart, you'll see the entry. I marked it out down here. I just didn't take it. I wasn't willing to take it. In pre-market at 7:30 a.m. I just wasn't going to be able to sit here and watch it. But played out beautifully. Do you see that? I'm going to get to that point where I will take those trades. Beautiful. Beautiful. For those that don't know, if you go to the 4-hour chart, we have 3 candles. Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. We want candle 2 to sweep candle 1's low and close inside of the range of candle 1. Candle 3, we're looking for a 15-minute fair value gap for price to go down into, and then you go long. So this is 6 a.m., drop down to the 15-minute time frame. 6 a.m. is right here, so anything past this time, we can find a 15-minute fair value gap for price to drop into. Boop, drops into it, you go long, there it is. All right, here is 10 o'clock. Let's see what we get here. It's either a reversal or a continuation at 10 o'clock. Either a reversal or continuation. Either way, we should get something. PM session on ES just ran. That's also a 15-minute breaker on ES. I'm going to mark that out there. All right, so breaker has been tagged on ES. That's a great place for a reversal or for a retracement. It's also a 15-minute fair value gap on ES. First presented fair value gap is at the top, and then we have a 5-minute fair value gap sitting right here. So I would like it to reach into that. There is nothing else here. Everything has been tagged. We have a 15-minute, we have an inversion, a 5-minute inversion right here. I mean, that's just crazy. All these 5-minute candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, potentially. Get ready. Get ready. Here it is. I'm dropping down to the 30-second time frame because there is no structure, and if this moves, it's going to move pretty quickly. So here's the 1 minute. See that? It just green candles. If you go down to the 30-second, you see one down close candle with this little swing low, making it a breaker. That's fine if it doesn't want to go here. I would see this as a low. This is the future breaker right here with a higher high, unless it continues just to fall right here. It looks like we might get a 1 minute inversion on ES. Yep, inversion to pump higher. We should see a higher high made on ES. NQ already made the higher high. Let's see if it goes on ES. Dr. Witt, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, there are some relatively equal highs on the 4-hour chart, but that's a ways up there. Am I not? Isn't that the case, Ted? All right, so we just made the higher high on ES. So now I'm treating this as a potential breaker, not on the 30-second anymore. It could be this level, or it could be this level there. One of the two. Guys, I'm not going to lie. The retracement on this is probably going to be extremely fast. It's probably going to be one of those trades. You're going to have one shot, and if you don't take it, you miss it. Candles are failing to close higher so far. Let's see if they hold. NQ is just pumping. Pumping. Higher and higher we go. From glory to glory. Until it's not. All right, we filled the 5-minute inversion fair value gap pretty accurately. I don't think there's a swing high here. We have a couple swing highs. And we have a small 1-minute fair value gap, I guess, that's sitting up there. I'm not really interested in that. It might keep reaching, so if it keeps pumping, it pumps without me. Holy macaroni. Yeah, so here's the other option. So a couple options, folks. Either we're going to get the quick move could be very short-lived, and then it could just do this for the next hour. Very possible. And then we get the move at 11 a.m. Or it just drops straight down without any thought or care in the world about macros. But look at this. This does not sustain itself. It's not going to keep going like that, guys. It's not. We will get a retracement. The question is when. It wouldn't surprise me if it's now. 5-minute, boom, boom, boom. Look at that. 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute. Everything is cray-cray. I mean, look at that. I mean, my chart is just like it won't keep going. And if it does, that's crazy. I just want 50 handles out of this move. 50 handles to the downside, I'll take. I'm going to take this right here.
Order submitted.
Stops at break even. Either it's fake out and it's going to go higher, or this sucker is going to drop and I'm going to participate in it. If it stops me out, it stops me out. It was too good of an opportunity to try to get. I want this low, actually. That's really what I want. I'm going to close that trade. Hold it. Just close that and get it solidified. It closed green. I wanted more of just a push lower. It could come back up here. We have an opportunity for a breaker for another entry, folks, so I'm not too worried about that. I told you that this was our breaker. We just swept that high. I'm going to take another stab right here on that sweep. Let's see if it can push through this low. Stops at break even. If it stops me out, that's fine.
Order canceled.
Stop me out, that's fine. I did it prematurely, knowing the aggression of this. And so if it's going to be aggressive, I want to move my stop to break even because I could be wrong on those. Let's see how this closes here. I kind of want to re-enter this, but I'm not going to. Nope. Don't. That's just, you're getting too excited, Tyler. Way to go, Northern. Got 20 handles. All right. I mean, this is crazy, but that's actually looks decent. It's an A. It's an A minus. A minus. Why? We never ran this low. We never swept the low. But in a buy macro, or when we're spooling higher, you normally won't see those lows taken. So if you close above this, it's an A minus. A minus. I'm not recommending the trade, but it could play out, is all I'm saying. I only have one trade left. That break-even trade counted. That counts. Well, technically it doesn't, but I'm going to count it anyway. This is technically ICT's model 2022. High, low, higher, high, breaks lower, comes back up into a fair value gap. You set your stop at the swing high, and you go short. If I'm going to take another trade, it needs to be perfect. I want it to add to what I have, not take away. Because if I have a loss, I end the day with a loss. We don't want that. For those that don't know why I took that trade, look at every single candle here. We came up into the key levels, and it was this candle right here. When we failed to make a higher high and closed inside the range, I'm like, I'm going to take a shot, see what we can get, because I said we're probably going to get an aggressive move lower, and that's exactly what happened. This looks nice for a continuation to the downside. What do I want to see? I want to see this. That's what I would trade that. Actually, you know what? I think I want to wait. I want to wait till the next macro. Yeah, it's like 30 minutes from now. I think I want to wait 30 minutes before I take the next trade. If this moves, it's moving. But we're like, the probability is not as probable because we're in between macros, so we could get some fake outs. That's the thing I'm concerned about, is it giving me a fake out and going like that. It goes like this. It comes into my level. I'm like, oh, let's take this, baby. Let's take it. And then it goes bloop because it's not ready to do it yet. So to preserve my profits, I'm going to pass on anything to the downside right now. Unless it's like A++. A++ in this case would be we ran lower, came up, stopped at this breaker, and then dropped. But because we went below it and back up through it and then closed above it, it's not A+ anymore. It's more like A-. But you got to think everybody thinks this is going to drop, right? So they wait and keep doing this. Maybe they make a higher high into that fair value gap. Remember that fair value gap that's sitting right there? This still is untouched. Nothing has touched this fair value gap. This is from yesterday at 11 a.m. This is in the 11 a.m. macro. Untouched. Mitigation block. That it might want to reach for. Yeah, that's fine if it took buy-side liquidity already, Derek. Just because it took buy-side liquidity doesn't mean it can't reach back for a higher price and then close inside the range. Remember, the bodies tell the story, the wicks do the damage. Okay? How many people were hoping that this was going to crush and just are getting stopped out on their shorts? How many people are getting stopped out on shorts right now? So many. Especially if we hit this high. So they make it look like we're about to drop, and they're like, nope, we're going to wait a little longer, tag a level that hasn't been reached before, and then we're going to start moving in that direction. All right, there's our sweep of high. That technically is that is the best type of turtle soup right there. This could actually work. What do we got? And no. Obviously, I don't take turtle soup, so don't take my recommendation for that. ES has filled the 5-minute SIBI and the first presented fair value gap and the 15-minute fair value gap. There's still another 5-minute fair value gap that's higher, that's overlapping with a breaker on ES. So potential higher move still. It doesn't have to. I don't think it has to. This has been properly mitigated, this whole area here. And this is the 5-minute fair value gap I'm talking about. So it could reach up into there, but it doesn't have to. It's reaching down into this this breaker right now. So we're hitting the breaker on ES. There wasn't even an inversion to the upside. I marked this inversion out. It never grabbed it. It closed inside the range and then swept the high before it closing. So there wasn't even an entry for that 1 minute inversion to the upside. So no opportunities there. And honestly, if I was going to take an inversion, I don't want the inversion. If we have down closed candles, okay, like this, and we have if we have the fair value gap towards the top, I don't like that as much as the fair value gap or the inversion that's closer to the bottom of the retracement. So here's the retracement. If the inversion is right here, I'm taking it. Here's the retracement and the inversion is up here, I'm not as interested in that. This has a less probability of success. This has a much higher probability of success. If you're just joining us, welcome. We are 1 trade in, technically 2. The second was a break even. We took that big black candle to the downside. Technically, it was not a model. It wasn't a model. It was more of a gut feeling. And do I regret taking that? Is that considered a positive loser? You guys tell me. Did I take a positive loser there? I think I know the answer. I think I know the answer, but I don't know if I want to say it out loud. What's up, Esteban? When you look at the higher time frame structure, yes, I like it. It wasn't my model, though. And if I'm doing my rating based on my model, I probably would call this a positive loser. I probably would call it a positive loser. Honestly, the break-even trade would have been more of a negative winner. This trade here was more of a legitimate setup than this was in regards to my models. Now, you could just look at the sweep of liquidity respecting this 5-minute fair value gap and all of that and just say this is look at the bodies, respect that to the tick on that 5-minute. So this is the thing, there's gray area in this. So I have to journal it, and I will journal this trade and express how I felt during the trade. Be honest with myself, not try to sugarcoat anything, and use that as part of my experience and what I'm learning. Yeah, it definitely wasn't an A+ setup. Did it happen to work out in my favor? Yes. And you're going to get those. This here would be amazing to take. And based on just how high this is, there's a good chance in the next 15 to 20 minutes we could start seeing this play out. Hey, yeah, is it Brian? Brian, we do have a coupon code. It is in the description of the video titled, or on the screen title is "It's Not Luck." It's not luck. You can find a coupon code in there, discount code in there. Okay, if you don't want to look for it, I'll tell you what it is. The coupon code is Jesus. Pretty revolutionary. Look at these candles, guys. Holy macaroni. Holy macaroni. All right, we swept a 1 hour swing high. We have our previous day high. Did we run the previous day low? We ran the previous day low. Okay. If we break this previous day high, we're going to run there. But we have a better chance of getting a retracement first before we do that. All right, folks, I'm going to change my bias. I'm going to change my bias and interest to a long. I'm going to change it to a long. We got this gap. It's obviously not trying to reach that right now. Could it change? Sure. Could we make money on a retracement? Absolutely. But knowing that we swept this low already and we're so close to this previous day high, and when we get a double break day, breaking the low and the high of the previous day, which is only 11% chance, those candles are pretty aggressive. Not all the time. Here's an example of a double break day right here. Right? We opened here. We ran the high, ran the low, and either one or the other. We swept the low first and then ran the high. One or the other. But it was a double break day. I'll show you another double break. This is in consolidation. I'm not interested. I won't count these. That's consolidation. Does it look like we're in consolidation in this? No, it doesn't at all. But I do want a retracement. I will still play a bearish move, but I won't try to play it, all the way down here. I won't try to. I mean, that just looks so good too, though. I'm not sure we're going to get that in the AM session. It might be in the PM session by the time that comes. 10:30 won't be a reversal. Dominique. 10:30 typically is a manipulation. The 30-minute marker tends to be an exaggerated manipulative candle. I have, but if I have a preference, I prefer not to take trades at that time on a 30-minute candle. At this point, what I want to see is price either sweep the previous day high or almost make equal highs. I will take an equal high the same as a sweep of liquidity on the daily time frame. Honestly, we might just get a quick punch right here. For those that don't know, all this stuff is free. If you guys want to support the channel, the best way to support the channel is to use the coupon code DTJ to get 90% off of Apex. So you get an Apex account, and or you can use Take Profit Trades. I have a coupon code for Take Profit Trader, and you can get 30% off their eval accounts using the code DTJ. I'm not asking, if you don't use them and use something else, I'm not asking to change. But if you do use Apex, consider using the code DTJ. It will give you the most updated discount Apex is offering. I don't know, Byron. They said they were doing an 80% off till the 30th, so they might be doing 90% off for the next 6 days. Watching this level right here. That's what we're watching for. And then we have 10 minutes after that, or 10 minutes left before we're in the 11 a.m. macro, and that's kind of where I'm looking to see if I have an opportunity for a short or a long. One of the two. All right, there's the sweep. Double break. It's official. It's a double break day. This is potentially a point of interest. So at this point, what I'm looking for is a sell-off that I can participate in, or a retracement that goes down to a key level that gives me an inversion long to the upside that I'll consider taking. I would prefer that after a big retracement. Assuming that this stays open, I would look for a trade down to this hourly candle, that candle's low. And that is 10 a.m. Yeah. This right here is our hourly low. Call those just equal lows. I am not trying to get anything, at this point, anything lower than this. Because this is a 1 hour fair value gap there. There could be a lot of, it could retrace at the first quarter, at the halfway mark, third quarter, or quadrant, or it could go all the way through it. Yeah, no real rejection. I'm okay. It doesn't need to make equal highs. I mean, it can make a jagged high. It could run 10, 15, 20 points past it and then start looking to give us a retracement. So far, it's given us 20 points past that. Look at this, no fair value gaps, so we should expect somewhat of an aggressive candle right here, at least to this level. If it closes below here, this is our first opportunity to potentially take the inversion of this candle. We want to treat that as an inversion fair value gap, a close below it to this swing low. Still got 5 minutes before I'm willing to take a trade. I want to take it after 10:45. That just prevents me from getting in something that kind of looks good that could just be a fake out. I'm not saying that it won't be a fake out after that point. It just reduces the probability in my eyes. We don't have any type of reversal candles, long-term reversal candles here. So I'm not interested in a long-term reversal move here. If I take a trade, it's for 30, 20 to 50 points. That's what I'm shooting for. We're already green on the day, so we want to be just patient. Wait for the setup. Wait for the move. If you're appreciating the commentary, if you like the analysis, for those that haven't hit the like button, I appreciate it if you do. Real relatively equal lows created at 1026. Didn't I mark those out? Oh, you're up here. Yeah, that's a... The problem with that is that's our first real breaker. That's our first real breaker, unfortunately. Unless we get another, it would be nice if we got another push higher, then we could use that as our breaker. That would be nice. But really, it's just this nice, we don't have really any structure other than just like this, you know, TP style candles. We're getting close, folks. It's going to happen. I mean, you can't just keep rocking up higher like this. You can't. There's no way it does that. It just doesn't keep going. We will get a play. That's my new model, the TP model. Actually, there is a nail head. I have a nail head model. It's a BPR followed. I really haven't. It was one of my early models that I traded but never didn't really keep going because it kind of is the same thing as the inversion, but there was different structure I looked for. It was called the nail head. Kind of like a TP, but it was much faster. It only consisted of like 3 or 4 candles. All right, even though we hit the high, look what we don't have. Look at this. Consolidation. Yes, it was consolidating towards the high, but we have no fair value gaps, okay? So I want displacement that leaves fair value gaps. That's my clue. That's my clue that says pay attention. That might be the candle that says pay attention, Tyler. I would like to see it go like this. I'm not sure it's going to give us that. This would be your first opportunity to this swing low. If it closes below, it might run without it. If it does, it runs without us. Or it hits it without us. That's okay. No close. Inside the fair value gap. If this closes right below it, I will take this. All right, I'm going to take this for that swing low. Let's see if it gives it to us. The trade will be invalid once we close above this fair value gap. Hovering over the exit button, watching it to see if it closes above that fair value gap. No close, it didn't, so it's still a valid trade. I'm going to let this stretch this out. At that swing low, I'm going to move my stop to break even. Okay, stops at break even now. I do not want it to come back up. I want it to just be aggressive right here and push lower. We're going to go for the swing low sitting right here at 1957. I'm watching this fair value gap sitting right here to see if we close below it or not. I will close this trade early as I don't want it to go back to break even and stop me. It needs to close below that previous candle's low. All right, I'm going to exit that. It did not. It closed inside that previous candle's low, so good chance it's coming back to at least hit to break even, and then it would stop me out and it could continue further. Here's also an inversion to the upside if we're going to pump higher. I'm not interested in a long because we hit the previous day high. But this, I mentioned that if there is a higher inversion or a lower inversion, I would take the lower inversion. I just exited a trade, so I'm not going to take this trade, but this is a valid sweep with an inversion immediately following that. That's a great, at least to this high. Unless it grabs it before it closes. Yeah, that's an invalid trade. That's very aggressive. Very plausible to now see this run to this high. Very plausible for that. I wouldn't say that's the case until we close above the inversion fair value gap that we closed below, that we took the trade on. If it closes above it, we want to see it act as a fair value gap again. Oh yeah, I'm not taking the trade. I'm done. Right there. Let's see what happens with it. But based on this candle right here, this is what I called the nail head. This is a nail head. That candle right in between is basically a doji candle. I call it a nail head, followed by the smash and the rejection. So it gives a balanced price range right here. These are great trades for a higher move. We'll log out. All right, you can see it right on my screen. Logged out. The only thing I don't like about it is the previous day high. I think we run that way, but do we run it right away? I don't know. I don't know. I hit my numbers. I made my trade. And I'm going to be happy with that. Know when to stop. Know when to take it. Don't try to make everything. Don't get overconfident thinking that you got the niche on the market. You know what's going on. That's when it just goes, no, you don't. Slaps you in the face. Sounds good. I might be gone. We'll probably be ending in the next 20 minutes or so. All my accounts are closed. The only one that I'm going to have open is my personal account for a small scalp. I try to take one trade per day on that account, which is a completely separate than all my funded accounts. So it's not my primary. It's kind of my it's my small account challenge that I was doing. We're sitting back at 540. That's kind of where that balance is sitting at right now. But not going to take anything at this moment. But again, I took my 3 trades. My primary trading is done. I'm just being completely transparent. I'd rather you guys know than not know. To me, that's important. All right, so see how this BPR is holding? See how that held? We found support in this BPR. That's a great sign. What did I make? My total profit on about 35 handles is what I total came out with between the 2 trades. Collectively, I had multiple contracts on them, so some I took some off and then made more on the others. So this trade here, we got in here. And I sold on that first push lower, 25 handles. Roughly between 20 and 25 handles. That's what we made. I'm watching this for a little long. If it gives me a close above it, we have that swing high right there. Anticipating that we have a double break day. We ran the previous day high and the previous day low way down here, that we still want to move higher. Everybody's thinking we're done moving higher. We've had the major retracement, meaning we're gonna now run lower. If we can, there's a chance it continues to go higher. I'm just playing what I'm seeing in the market. We have a sweep of liquidity. Makes this a valid entry for an inversion to the upside. I mean, it's our only option as far as a trade, but if I had a preference between this one and this one down here, it would have been this one down here. Give me a second, folks. We crown you king of glory. Let's see what we got. 5 minute. I mean, this looks good for a short. It really does. For a continuation to the downside. I think I really would like that. 15 minute. Fair value gap. Nothing. Yeah, I think I want a bigger retracement. I think I want a retracement down into this level here. Somewhere in here, I think would be nice. All right, almost 11 o'clock here. Model 2022 right here. That's your entry for a short. Your confirmation for the short would be an inversion of this fair value gap. Invalidation, technically for the 2022 is the high, but I honestly wouldn't want to wait for that long. We're looking at options to the both sides. We have one option for the upside. I'm probably not going to take it. I'm probably not going to take it. I like this one too, but that could fake out too, especially. All right, there's 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Or this is the end of it. When you get a candle like that for 11 o'clock right in between, it's not very definitive. It doesn't tell you much. I like when they're the lows and the highs because that gives me a clear indication that we're probably going to have a retracement. This to me is like we're still going to move. I really don't care about you right now. We're still going to move higher. That's kind of how I feel about it. My biggest hesitation on this trade right here is the previous day high. That's my biggest hesitation. Second hesitation is how much time we've spent in here. I feel like a close above could be a fake out to a move lower. I think this is my option. We swept this high, stayed beneath the discount, stayed beneath the consequent encroachment of that fair value gap, which included that small volume imbalance. Would love to see a little green candle right here and then a breakthrough. I'll put this on my screen. This is not my eval, not my performance accounts. This is just a personal account. Small personal account. I'm going to start with one contract here. Hit that level. That's what I want to see. I want to close green. I would prefer a green close candle to create an order block into these order blocks. That would make this a propulsion block. If it stays beneath these, if it just pumps higher, then that changes my opinion. A close above this now would be a legitimate trade. It's an inversion right here. We swept the lows, faked lower, pumping higher. It's in line with everything. Yes, Matthew. All right, I'm going to take this if it comes back down into that fair value gap. I want it to drop a little bit more. All right, I'm going to take that long. kind of candles are these? Yeah, that's exactly what they are. Come on. It's either going to go or stop me out at break even. I'm not messing around with that anymore. It needs to go or it'll stop me out. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Just pump. What the heck? There we go. All right, we're going to take that position. Stops at break even. Let's see if it wants to pump higher. I mean, if it's going to go, it could really go. That's the thing. I'm going to take profit at 93 because there's a swing high there. All right, took profit there. There we go, folks. That, my friend, is what we call a day. We're going to call it a day there. I want you to look at what we were looking at. We were looking at a short all the way up until, honestly, this candle right here. That candle gave it away. But it wouldn't have given it away unless you had your levels identified beforehand. You needed to know that this basically, a close above this gave a high probability of us running that level. And knowing that we had a double break, a high and a low of the previous day, meaning that it could expand even further. It could be a trending day. So that's, with all of that in mind, that's why we end up taking that. So if you like that, hit the like button for me. Emotional damage today. Hit the like button. Do me a solid. I appreciate that, guys. We're going to call it a day here. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9:15. 9:15, ready to rock and roll. Do it all again. God bless. Stay safe. If you connect with me, you can find me on X. Check out the code DTJ for Apex's 90% sell. And then somebody did ask about the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. You can use the code Jesus to get a discount on joining that course, as well as the DTJ community over on Discord. So God bless, guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.